What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Dodgers Explicit. I'm Ren.
And I'm Josh.
And before we get into today's episode, make sure you guys drop a like. Also subscribe. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers before the season starts. But Josh, we have a very special guest today. Get us into that.
Yeah, so guys, we have a very, very special guest for today. He's an LMU alumni, professional baseball player, and the son of Dodgers manager. He goes by the name of Cole Roberts. Cole, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Let's go, Cole. I mean, I kind of want to get into this thing. First things first, we didn't have it on our list, but I want to say, like, you know, what helped you find our page? You know, what kind of made you see our faces for the first time?
Yeah, so I've been seeing you guys on Instagram on like my For You page all the time. Same thing with TikTok. You guys make some funny videos. You guys make some good content. All the videos you guys make, I send to my friends and stuff like that. So they kept popping up. So yeah, I love what you guys do. It's awesome for the Dodgers community.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
I mean,
Yeah, I remember it was Christmas Eve. I was at my girlfriend's house and I saw CR send a message. I'm like, okay, it's just another message. And I'm like, Cole Roberts. But the reason I know of you, well, of course, Pops, but I was at when you were playing at LMU, I have a friend that pitches for UC Irvine.
Okay.
And I think you batted second that night, I want to say. But I was like, Cole Roberts, and I'm like, oh, and they're like, everyone's like, yeah, this is Dave Roberts' son. I'm like, oh, this is pretty crazy.
Yeah, we have some good games against them. Yeah, they're a good team. So yeah. LMU is cool, playing Irvine all the time. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
man. I mean, it was pretty cool. I mean, yeah, I saw the same thing. I was like CR, and then I clicked on the account. Oh man, that's Cole Roberts. But yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, that's you know, you introduce us to a lot of people, such as your friends and stuff. I mean, our main goal is to make the Dodger community more of like a diehard fan base, all that. You know, Dodger fans are crazy, so you know, we're trying to make it.
They're crazy. They're fun. Like, obviously, what you guys do, like, obviously, the season's stressful for players, coaches, even fans, as we all know. So, I kind of like making those, like, lighthearted jokes or, like, those videos or whatever it is, just kind of keeping people updated is always a good thing for the fan base and stuff like that.
Yeah, bro, it's fun. It's fun for sure.
Absolutely. We were doing it for free when we were kids, so we just started posting videos, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing as when we were kids 2-3 years ago when we first started driving. So it's really just taking the phone out and recording. We would always yell at the TV if there was no video or not.
We all do.
Yep.
I know.
So I mean, we could kind of jump into a couple of the topics. So we had a brief conversation right before we started recording. So you were born in Encinitas. The question was, you grew up a Padres fan, didn't you?
I did. You know, I grew up a Padres fan. Obviously in San Diego, all my boys were Padres fans because that's the team here, obviously. And my pops played in San Diego from 05 to 06. So I was a Padres fan then, coach in San Diego after for a handful of years, Padres fan then as well. So the Padres have always been like a little part of our family and all my friends and stuff like that. But as soon as 2016 hit, we flipped the switch pretty quickly. So Padres fan then, but Dodgers forever now.
There you go.
Yeah, man. Yeah. For sure. I mean, it's pretty cool. I have a lot of family members that are Padre fans. You know, we're always beefing. This year was crazy, though. I mean,
insane,
bro. That was the most epic series I've ever attended. I've ever experienced anything.
Yeah, that was the World Series right there.
Yeah, it was. I mean, everyone said it. Your dad said it. You know, Mookie said it. Everyone said it.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was definitely fun. Also, those games in LA were crazy. But coming down in San Diego was like that. Like people in LA like couldn't buy tickets or whatever it was. So it was like that 95% Padres fan or whatever. It was just like it was fun. But those boys did a great job. Obviously, it was fun to watch.
Yeah. I mean, you went to all those games?
I went to all those games, so it was a good time. All of our family got to go to those too, since it was so close to us. But definitely got some dirty looks wearing that Dodgers stuff. But it was a good time for sure.
Yep. And if you Padre fans are watching, you guys still haven't scored, by the way, just so you guys know. I'm still keeping count.
Yeah, man. I mean, and the Padres, have you been hearing what's going on, you know, with their ownership, you know, with the lawsuit and all that?
Yeah, I was reading up on that. That's crazy. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen then. It's going to be an interesting season, like no matter how that turns out for them, like as far as like the legal reasons or whatever. But yeah, it's definitely a little bit of a switch up for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we're certified Padre haters, so you know it's fun for us to watch.
Of course it is.
I love the downfall. I saw that tweet, put a smile on my face right away.
Yeah, of course it did.
Yeah, I mean, but let's kind of talk about those games a little bit. You know, game 1. No, we didn't go to game 1. We went to game 2. So me and Josh personally, we went to game 2 and 5. And game 2 was the crazy one where, you know, Machado threw the ball towards the dugout, Profar yelling at the fans, balls being thrown
on the field.
Yeah. I mean, I have a couple videos of me crashing out of the stadium. I didn't throw anything on the field. I'll say that. I did.
Right.
I would never condone that. I wouldn't do it.
Right.
But I mean, being there, that's when I felt like pure like rivalry. I've never felt that before.
Yeah, and I think that the Padres Dodger thing's been going on for a little bit. Like the like it used to be obviously the Dodger Giants or whatever, but now I think that everyone's kind of felt the shift towards the Dodgers Padres in the past couple of years. I think that everyone kind of saw like the culmination of that in that game 2 when all that stuff started to like come out, and people throwing stuff on the field. Obviously, like the tensions were getting a little bit high. So not that it was a good thing, but I think it was just very interesting to see like all of that kind of like starting to escalate a little bit more than it has in the past, I guess.
Right, for sure. It hit this year for sure.
Yeah.
I was always one of those people that I don't know if it was like my ego. I didn't want to give them like that rivalry tag. I was always like, nah, it's still the Giants.
Yeah.
But as soon as this year hit, I was like, all right, they got it. Like, it's a rivalry. I kind of accepted it, embraced it, and now shit, I hate those. We said after game 2, like it felt like a straight up war. Like, yeah, we're just fans, but I felt like, man, on social media, we were getting so many comments about just so many negative things. We don't really look at comments like that, but the comments from Padre fans were getting crazy. Dodger fans were backing us up. It was a good time. It was a good time, honestly.
100%.
Yeah, that was peak postseason. And then, you know, game 5, you know, Dodger Stadium was lit up that game. I didn't sit one time that whole entire game.
Oh, you were there too?
Yeah, game 5.
Yeah, that was a good one for sure.
We actually have a YouTube video out. If any of the viewers, if you haven't watched that yet, I'm pretty sure you have because it's our biggest video. But I mean, we were in the left field pavilion where it gets turned. And
yeah, I mean, it was 1-0, but sometimes it felt like we were tied or losing the entire game. You know, like it was just one of those games.
Yeah, for sure. We knew that was going to be crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, Cole, we could kind of get into you know, as far as you just growing up. So you grew up down in Encinitas. You know, we could kind of how was high school baseball for you? I know we both played high school baseball. Didn't make it to the next level, but what was that experience like for you?
High school was fun, man. You know, in Little League, like I was never really a good player. Like I was kind of always like the backup guy or whatever. Just didn't really play a whole lot. But I think in high school, I kind of started to like find myself who I was as a player, what I was good at, what I wasn't, and try to build on those strengths and try to eliminate some of those weaknesses, because I knew that I really wanted to play at the next level and hopefully beyond. So I think that that's kind of like where I started like take accountability of my own game, you know. Like obviously when you're younger in Little League, middle school, parents, coaches helping you along or whatever. But in high school, that's kind of like where you have to like start taking accountability for yourself. If you want to be great, it's kind of yourself that has to push you there. You know, like no one's going to make you be great. You kind of have to do it yourself. Or even if you want to be just anywhere along those lines, you kind of have to take the initiative to kind of push yourself there. So I think that after my freshman year, I kind of started to figure out that I really wanted to be like, this is what I wanted to do. Like I wanted to be a good baseball player. My freshman year, I played JV, had a good year. Sophomore year, played varsity, kind of got crushed a little bit. So that was kind of a wake up check for me. Like, okay, if I want to do this, like I got to figure it out. So that summer, worked on some stuff and then finished off stronger than I started, which was great. But yeah, that sophomore year was kind of a little bit of a struggle for me. You know, it's kind of the first time that I really dealt with some adversity as far as baseball goes. So I think that was actually pretty good for me. I think that kind of goes for like a lot of things. Like if you don't really get it the first time around, you got to figure out a way to make it happen if you really want to do it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we both played high school ball. We know how competitive that gets, but I mean, so for you, I'm sure, you know, you had to work for it, right? You know,
100%. Yeah. And I think that I kind of went into high school baseball, like expecting to play because I didn't go to a super big school. And I had a good year my freshman year, like I said, but it was JV. So like everyone plays on JV, but then as soon as I got sophomore year, I thought I was kind of going to roll right into that, but I didn't. And that was the wake up call I needed to kind of like figure things out a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, what years did you go to high school?
I graduated in 19.
19. Okay, so I kind of want to ask like a personal question. How, like, was your dad able to attend a lot of games? Because I mean, I personally, my dad was able to attend a lot of games, and he was always there. But he got a new job opportunity my senior year, and that's that year I was like fighting for a starting spot. All this, our last playoff game. I mean, that's the last like organized baseball game I played, and he wasn't there. So I feel like for me that kind of like not it doesn't hurt, but it's like, man, I wish my dad was there. So for you, did you ever have those like experiences where you're like, damn, like I wish my dad was here? Because obviously he has such a busy job and all that.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like you kind of already know, like what you said about that last game. I'm sure my dad wishes he could be at every one of my games. That's
Yeah.
kind of what every dad wants to do. But unfortunately, that's not in his job description. Like, unfortunately, our seasons line up at the exact same time. So being able to come help out with practice or watch a couple preseason games whenever he could, which I appreciate. It means like a lot to me that he'd spend his free time doing that. But when our season kind of rolled around, he kind of went off to spring training. So he didn't get to go to a whole lot, but he did everything he could to be able to come to my games. A cool story about college is my first game was his first day of spring training. So he finished up spring training pretty early, like 2:00 that day, since it was the first day, flew back to LA, made it to LMU, and watched me play my first college game. So stuff like that, just like it really means the world to me that he's able to still be able to make those special moments, even when his schedule says otherwise sometimes.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
That's a great story right there. So we obviously know you played at LMU. I believe you committed pretty early, right? You committed your junior year?
Yeah, I committed I think it was December of my junior year. Yeah.
Okay. What did you have any other offers on the table? Were you pretty set on LMU, or what was that process kind of looking like for you?
I was pretty set on LMU from the beginning. I talked to USD a little bit, talked to Pepperdine a little bit, even Georgetown, all the way on the East Coast. So it's kind of a little bit all over the place, but I thought that LMU was kind of the perfect spot for me. Weren't too many infielders in my class, so I thought that I'd have a decent chance to play freshman year.
Okay.
I was talking to USD a little bit, pretty close to home, only about like 25, 30 minutes. So I thought I need a little bit more distance from home, but still close enough where my family can come up and come watch my games and stuff like that. So I thought LMU is the perfect fit, and it ended up being great for me. Had great coaches, made a bunch of friends that I still talk to every single day. So LMU is a perfect spot for me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know about you, Josh. I wish I played college ball. I regret it.
My back doesn't wish I played college ball.
What position play?
I was outfield and pitcher.
Okay.
I was an infielder.
Okay, there you go.
Mainly second base, mainly.
Me too. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I tossed the ball on Christmas with my little brother. I threw about 4 throws. My elbow was done. So no, I don't wish I played college ball.
Second base, left-handed hitter. Are you a left-handed hitter too?
Ooh, I'm a righty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a righty.
Yeah.
I think it's your dad a lefty, right?
Hey, we'll take some ground balls sometime, but you got to show me what's up.
Man, I haven't took a ground ball in at least a year and a half.
Oh, so recent. Okay.
Okay. I graduated in 22.
22.
But I still took ground ball. Like I still was practicing here and there. I tried to get back into it, and I just didn't have the same love for the game because I wanted to start this up.
For sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So I mean, as far as like the professional process for you, I know you were part of the D-backs for a little bit. Right after college, how was that process?
Yeah, so I was with the D-backs the past couple of years. Didn't hear my name called on draft day, so I was kind of bummed out about that. My agent called me and was just like, "Hey, like, wait out a couple days. If not, we'll see what happens. If not, like, we'll maybe start looking at independent ball or whatever." I was like, "No, I don't really want to do that." And then so waited a couple days. Then my agent got a call from the Diamondbacks and like, "Hey, like, we want Cole to come play for us. We have a lot of infielders, but can he play outfield as well? Like, we'll use him for both." And then he called me. He's like, "Can you do this?" I was like, "Absolutely, I can do that." So I was like, "When do I need to be out in Arizona?" He goes, "Tomorrow." I was like, "Oh, all right." So packed up all my stuff, drove my car out to Arizona, and then moved in the hotel the next day, and then started rookie ball. Played about 25 games, or whatever, and then had my first off season. So it was a cool first year. But yeah, they were that was a fun experience for sure.
Yeah, that is a cool experience. I mean, especially hearing your perspective, because I feel like we don't hear too many people talking about getting the spring training invites. All this going through the rookie ball games, that doesn't get documented as much as it should, I feel like.
Yeah, it's a very important part. Like, it's where your kind of like your professional career starts. It's like everyone sees like the Oklahoma City Dodgers or even like the Tulsa Drillers or whatever it is. Like, everyone kind of sees like those higher levels, but that's kind of like where a lot of the development comes, like those rookie ball, low A. That's kind of like where you get your building blocks a little bit of kind of figuring out how to make that jump from high school to professional, or in my case, college to professional. Because even though it's like only a one level jump, it's a pretty big jump. And I kind of figured that out pretty quickly, that there are just some different things between college and professional that I kind of had to wrap my head around a little bit. But it was good for me to kind of go to rookie ball for a little bit and just figure out those types of things that'll kind of hopefully set me up for the rest of my career.
Yeah, man, that's a cool experience, man. I mean, obviously it was a dream of mine as a kid, but being able to hear other stories, like it's like my dreams are coming through
through someone else.
Yeah, through someone else. It's like I'm hearing the stories. I mean, this is my dream now, obviously creating content. So it's like it's cool hearing all that.
Yeah, definitely. So Cole, we all saw the moment that you and your dad shared last spring training with the lineup cards. What was it like to get that opportunity? I feel like that was a very special moment for your family.
That was something that was really special. A few years ago, I don't know if you guys remember it, but Darren Baker did that with Dusty. So Darren's one of my good friends. I played at obviously LMU, and he played at Cal. So I met Darren when he was at Cal. We were able to kind of bond over that, kind of like that father-son relationship that we had with our dads as well, being in baseball. So he talked to me kind of about like that might be a thing, and my dad thought it might be a possibility. And then they were going to go on the road to Camelback, and then Torey Lavello found me when I was in the locker room. He said, "Hey, you're coming with us today. I want you to line up card with your dad, getting at bat." So I was really excited to hear that. I called my dad, told him I was going to do it. And he was all fired up. My mom and sister came out for the game. So it's something that was really special for all of our family to kind of get those pictures that are kind of going to be our family forever, that we're always going to look back on.
Yeah, that's definitely a really cool moment right there. Kind of a little bit off topic, but I told Josh this the other day. I was like, I kind of want to tell him, like, I feel like your dad is just such a dad. Like, he's just everyone's dad, it feels like.
Bro, he is a dad, he'll be like, the other day we were in Target, and he was just like, we were shopping for stuff. My sister's moving back to school or whatever. And then I just like looking over, and he's like doing some stretches. I'm like, what is this dude doing? Like, he just does stuff. I'm just like, what are you doing? And like, everyone sees him on TV, and like thinks that he's like super serious because he always has a serious look on his face. But he does those things like his dad. Like, he practices golf swing in the house all the time. Like, he just does stuff like that, like that every dad does. It's just like,
yeah.
And it's like lucky that comes out in the off season, because obviously the season like weighs on him a little bit sometimes. But he does a good job trying to separate those two things and still be able to like be a dad when he needs to be, and be a coach when he needs to be as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can definitely tell that, because I mean, he's definitely a player's manager. Like, he cares a lot about how the players are as people, how they're feeling that certain day. Like, that's one of the massive traits that Dave Roberts like has always had.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. He takes a lot of pride in that. Even when he started and got this job, I was just like, what's something you want to do? Like, when you're a manager, like, what do you want to take pride in? And he said, I want to make sure that I'll be able to talk to all of my players every day. So whether he does it or not is a different story, but like, he makes it a goal every day to try to seek out and talk to every one of his players, which I think is amazing. He's able to do that with even how many guys he has. I think that just kind of speaks a lot to his character and how much he cares about each individual player, no matter of if you're Shohei Ohtani or someone who doesn't really see the field. Like, he still makes sure to like treat everyone the same, which I think is just a big testament to him.
Yeah. I think the fans can definitely see that that he cares a lot about his players, and the fans definitely for sure respect that about him. But as far as for you, I mean, we talked about it a little bit before we hopped on. So you were a member of the D-backs. Are you still on the D-backs, or where are you headed? Are you going to be headed to spring training?
So I will be heading to spring training. I got an invite from the Phillies a few months ago, so I'm kind of getting ready for that. Going to be out in Clearwater this time around, so won't be able to do the lineup exchange again with my pops, but I'm excited to kind of get away, do my own thing a little bit. Our catcher from LMU is actually with the Phillies right now, so I'll get to kind of reconnect with him, as well as Justin Crawford. Carl's son is out there too.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, he is.
well, since I haven't seen him in a while, so I'll have a couple buddies over there, but I'll be on the other side of the country, guys.
Hey, you know what we should do, Josh?
Road trip.
No,
Not a road trip. That's too far.
No.
Flight.
There you go.
Like
It's gonna be a good
what
time.
do they call it? So we're the Cactus League. What is the other one called?
This is the grapefruit.
Grapefruit. Okay, yeah. Grapefruit.
Okay, so here was our plan. Our plan was to kind of spend a lot of time in Arizona, but if we can spend some time with you out there in Florida, I think it's worth a trip, Josh.
Come on out. It's gonna be a good time.
It could be. It might be a possibility. We might.
Tampa's got some stuff to do, so we'll get into some stuff. It'll be fun.
Hey, we might have to look into that.
There you go.
Sure. But yeah, we'll still be spending a lot of time in Arizona. Trying to go to all the pregame practices, try to meet some of the guys. Get them on our videos, because that's what the fans want to see. They want to see the close action, especially for the people who don't get the chance to go to Arizona. Go to get the spring training experience. Because I personally think the spring training experience is cooler than going to a regular season baseball game, because you have so many options.
It is, yeah. Camelback's cool. Like, it's super open. You can walk around, go see the field, go see your favorite players, go even get a chance to talk to them, stuff like that. Watch them up close. It's just something you're never able to do during the regular season. I think it's, like you said, it's very underrated. It's very close, very personal. So, and Arizona is a great place during that time. So it's definitely something I recommend.
Yeah, last year we were able to talk to Matt Kemp. We got him on our video.
Nice.
That was pretty cool. That's his childhood hero right there.
That was like the best moment of my life.
I like that. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys got to do that.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty cool moment. I think that for all the fans, we definitely recommend getting out to Camelback, being able to be close to the players. I had a brief conversation with Alex Vesia, talked to Matt Kemp. You're just so close. You're a lot closer than if you're watching a game or going to batting practice before the game, things like that. You just feel a lot closer, and it's definitely something that I would recommend to all fans for sure.
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, and to you, best of luck over there in Florida, with the Phillies.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Should be a good time.
Oh yeah, that'll be a good time. But Cole, jumping into 2020, obviously Dodgers were World Series champions. Were you a freshman that year, right?
I was a freshman. Yes, I was a freshman that year. Yeah.
Okay. So obviously we know the pandemic, all that happened. Did you get the chance to make it out to Texas for the World Series? Were you out there at all?
So I did. We were what was that? October, obviously. So we were getting ready for I was getting ready for my first season. We were practicing and stuff like that. It was October, middle of fall practice. And as the Dodgers kept moving on, I just kept looking at the schedule. I'm like, God, is it going to fall on the weekend? Am I going to be able to get away? Especially with COVID. I'm like, am I even going to be able to get out there? And then they won the NLCS. I was like, okay. And they got closer, won a couple more games. So I was like, I got to talk to my coach. So my coach, Nathan Choate at the time, I went in his office. I'm like, hey, he goes, you want to go, don't you? I'm like, I really do. I think it's a big moment. Like, I got to go. He goes, go. So he let me go. So I was able to go there for, I think it was just the overnight, actually. So I flew in that morning, saw the game, flew back to LA the next day. Then I think we had the weekend, whatever, then started practice again the next week. But I was lucky enough to let him, to have him let me go out to Texas for that. So I was very excited.
Yeah, for sure. Because some coaches, I mean, they want their guys there all the time, no matter what.
Yeah, like I get it. It's a very big deal, like practice and stuff like that. And missing practice isn't even big of a deal. So for him to let me do that is a very big blessing. I was very grateful. I didn't see my family because my dad, my mom, and my sister were all in that little bubble and during the playoffs. So I didn't see them for like a month and a half. So it was my first time seeing them in a while. So we were all very excited to see each other, especially under those circumstances.
Yeah, see, and nobody ever really talks about that. Like, people say 2020 was an easier ring, but I mean, like you just mentioned, you were a month and a half away from your family. I'm sure for your dad, I'm sure that was tough. Like he can't go see his son play baseball. He's far away. He literally can't do anything. He can't leave. So that's why
they're basically stuck.
Yeah, that's why a lot of like Dodger fans defend it. Like, no, like this is one of the hardest rings to win.
And that was the first year of the extra round too, so they had to get through another team. It was a lot harder than people think it was.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of discrediting, but
yeah,
they'll hate on the Dodgers end anyways.
Everyone does. It's all good.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Yeah.
Yep. So Cole, I mean, obviously, Pop's 2-time manager, world champ now this year. Did you get to see the clincher this year? Did you get to go to any of the World Series games or?
I did, yeah. So our season was over early September, so I was able to go to all those postseason games, which is something I was just super grateful. And I haven't done it since, God, I don't even know, like beginning of high school, something like that. So, didn't have those fall practices like I did in college or whatever. So I was able to travel and go to all those games. It was cool going to those different cities. But that game 5 was something special.
Man, we went to game 4.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So we were one game too early.
I'm so glad you guys got to go out there. That's cool.
Yeah, it was a cool experience, but we thought we'd rather take the risk of losing game 4 than not seeing them at all.
That's fair.
Yeah, because at the start of the year, I think it was in our opening day video, we were like, no matter what, wherever it is, we're gonna give ourselves a chance to see them clinch the World Series. What do we say? We said whether that's New York, whether that's Houston.
Yeah.
You guys called it.
Yeah.
We gave ourselves a chance.
Give ourselves a chance.
All we can do.
I'll never forget. We got off the flight and I saw a Twitter notification, someone like Dave Roberts saying that, you know, if we don't want to use our leverage guys, but if it gets to that point, what did he say? I think you remember the tweet more.
He said something like, if it gets to a point, we don't want to have to use our leverage guys. I mean, the people were calling it a punt game, but it was really just if we had the lead, then we would throw the big dogs in. But I mean, it all worked out. We did that in the NLCS too, and it worked out perfect. So
yeah, I remember Freeman hit the home run, and I think we were winning like 2-0. It was like 2 or 3-0. I think it was like 2-0.
We never had a 3-run lead. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that wasn't 3. We wouldn't blow that. Not our bullpen. But yeah, I'm like, Dave, please bring the guys in. Bring the guys in. I want to see this so bad
for our sake.
Yeah, and then like Knack and Kasparius ended up going and combined like 5 innings or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was still a cool experience to be out there in New York. It was my first time. You know, I've been to a World Series game before, but this time it was way different.
Yeah. And you got to see the ones that matter. This is the year.
Yeah.
Yep. That was something that we really took pride in, was like, if it happens, we're gonna give ourselves a chance. We did, and don't regret it at all, one bit. I mean, the experience was crazy because we literally were waiting until we won game 3. And we're buying the tickets all real quick, buying the flight, buying the ticket, buying this, buying that. We're like, all right, we're leaving tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Go home and go to sleep.
Because the thing is, if they won game 4 and you didn't go and you held off for game 5, you'd never be able to like forgive yourselves for missing game. Like, that's other than the same thing.
Yeah,
and I'm already the reason that we didn't go to game 1, the walk-off grand slam. So I would have been extra guilty. Look at his face.
Bro, that was
crazy.
Yeah, I'll forever hold some sort of animosity.
Let's go.
Ask him.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
What'd you do, Josh? Why couldn't you guys go?
I mean, it was just like the prices were a little crazy, and I was like, come on! Like at the start, we said that we want to give ourselves a chance, like when we win it.
New York, that's fair. Yeah, that makes sense.
But when we did watch game 1, or where we watched it, was at our office that we work at, and a bunch of the guys that we work with, they know about our page, they know we love baseball, but they don't even really like baseball like that. But they all stayed around, and that's the clip that you saw of them all freaking out. None of them watch baseball, really. I'm gonna be honest. There's probably like 3 people in there that watch baseball, but they were just flipping out.
They were just like chilling there, like they didn't even know what was going on.
Yeah.
They really got into it. It was the Dodgers and Padres series that got them like hooked onto it.
Locked in.
Yeah, that locked them in. I think that series gained a lot of fans for sure.
Yeah,
it did, bro. Because baseball definitely needed a good rivalry with a top 2 teams possibly in MLB. That did a lot of great things for baseball.
And I told Josh that day, it was the day of. I'm like, Josh, let's just do it, bro. Let's just go. Let's just do it. He made me wait.
So
you guys got those cool moments though on video. Those that's gonna help you guys out a lot. That's how I saw you guys. So some good stuff going to come from those videos for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, you being at the games, like how is that for you? You know, the Dodgers win. You know, are you going on the field to celebrate? You know, are you in the clubhouse? You know, like where do they kind of have the family?
We were all on the field. So after each round, like when we went on the field, had the champagne, whatever, had a couple drinks, got to see everyone. Fox was on the game, so saw Poppy, Jeter, A-Rod, all those guys. So that was pretty cool too. It's pretty cool being on the field after a win, just like kind of seeing everything after that crazy of a game. So it was cool to be able to do that 3 times this postseason.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's our main goal too, to get to that point, to, you know, be able to get on the field for a championship. I know you're pretty familiar with some content creators. I've seen you do a podcast with Austin Kleschka.
Yeah, that's my boy.
You played with Dodger Films, all that. I'm not sure. Have you heard of Disarm?
Yes, I have.
So I'm a pretty big fan of Disarm. He gets like on-field access, like when they win and stuff, and it's like, man,
Even the
I
bat
dream of
boys,
doing that.
guys like that.
Yeah, I dream of doing that.
That's you guys. You guys are next.
That's the goal.
That's the
goal.
But yeah, it's pretty cool, you know, that the media has really changed like a lot of the game, honestly.
It has. Oh, it's absolutely. I think it's good for the game because to be able to put out content like this, it just kind of gives like fans like what players want, what fans want, just to like a little bit of a closer look into like what a day is like, and what life is like for players, and like it's cool hearing your guys' stories too. What life's like for fans as well and stuff like that. It's just kind of cool for players, fans, and everyone to kind of get a look into each other's lives and like what that's like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think all the social media, you know, TikTok, Instagram, all that, it's so important for every sport, just because it's going to gain you more traction, more fans to different fan bases and things like that. I know growing up, me and Ram, we both loved Dodger Films. What was your experience like? You know, I saw the video of your debut. Obviously, I didn't realize that it was you at the time, but I went back, I looked at it, I'm like, damn, I definitely watched this episode, but I was probably like 12 and didn't even realize it.
It was
so
cool.
what was that experience?
I was like a freshman or sophomore, whatever. Like I watched those videos all the time, like after school. Like that's when those would come out.
Mm-hmm.
Of like Bobby going to games, like catching those home runs during BP or whatever. And then they started that the softball series. I was like, oh, I just want to go. I shot him a DM. He's like, yeah, come through. So some cool friends like Austin, Avi, like Gabe, all those guys, Ryan. It's like we still play a PlayStation all the time together and stuff like that. And they're bigger Dodger fans than anyone. So it's kind of cool talking Dodger baseball with them as well. But yeah, those guys are great.
Yeah, I mean, except for Austin, he's an Angels fan.
He is an Angels. That's right. He is an Angels fan. So we love giving him crap or whatever whenever the Dodgers beat up on them. But no, it's a good time.
Especially when we got Ohtani.
Exactly. Oh, I love that. He was so mad too. It was the best.
Yeah, you guys. I saw you guys did your podcast right around that time.
Yeah,
you were like, toss me that pillow.
I remember that. He was pressed about that. That was fun.
Yeah, I have a cousin. He's like a diehard Angel fan.
Oh my god.
He caught one of Trout's. I think it was like it was like a home run that made it the most home runs in Angel Stadium or something like that. He caught like a pretty big baseball.
That's
and at the time, I don't know if they still do, but the Angels had a celebration where they had a cowboy hat and they would take it off and he started dancing.
Yeah.
So he went pretty viral for that. All over Twitter, all over Instagram, ESPN posted him and everything. But yeah, he's that diehard. And when we got Ohtani, man, he was
down bad.
Yeah, we were actually, speaking of him, we were literally about to start a podcast, and then we signed Snell, and we're like, holy shit, start the podcast. Yeah. So we start the podcast, we get like a pretty much raw reaction, and he goes, holy shit, he's calling me, and he answers and he puts it in the mic, and he's like, what'd he say? He's like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Like, why can't we have shit?
It's been a good off season so far. It's gonna be a fun year.
I saw your face when you said we got Blake Snell. What was that about?
Oh, I was just so excited about that because what's it called? He as soon as we got him, he called my dad a couple minutes afterwards, and he was just like, you could hear how excited he was on the phone just to kind of like be a part of this. And everyone knows that this is the best team in baseball, and it's going to be hopefully for years to come, and like getting guys like this definitely doesn't hurt. So he was very excited to come help out. My dad was just talking about they're on the same page about winning him another ring or win him a ring, maybe get him another Cy Young, see what happens. But they're very excited.
Yeah, I mean Blake Snell, honestly, that I didn't expect it. It came out of nowhere. But for him, I mean, right when we got him, I had already told Josh. I don't know if you can see the resemblance, but I feel like he kind of looks like Blake.
I kind of can. You need to know jersey.
So we have a pretty big video plan that we'll tell you about after. Not with him, but something that, because I don't know, like people have been telling me that I look like him even before he was with the Dodgers, and then as soon as he went to the Dodgers, people just started spamming it in our comments, and we're like, all right, we got to do something about this.
Okay, I'm excited to see what that's going to be.
We have a great video in mind. We'll show you after this. But
okay,
you know, speaking about like these free agents, the Juan Soto signing, you know, that was a crazy process. But I don't know if you've seen over TikTok. What's the Mets manager's name? Do you remember?
It's meant something Mendoza.
Yeah, Mendoza. So apparently his son was commenting on TikTok something about oh, like I know that the Mets are gonna go all out for him. The Mets are gonna throw all the money at him. Trust me, he's gonna go to the Mets. So he obviously had a little bit of inside. Have you ever had a moment where it's like, okay, you know something's gonna go down, but it's so hard to stay quiet?
I usually know like a couple, like 2 or 3 days, whatever, before it happens. But I saw that, I was like, I need to make sure that's never me, because like it's just a bad look, you know. Like, I don't know. Like maybe it's fine. I don't know. Like I would never do that, but I just kind of like let the situation play out how it's supposed to play out. You know, like there's people there's reporters for a reason. Like there's Jeff Passan, Bob Nightingale, like those guys are there for a reason, you know?
Yeah.
I think just hearing it from a credible source is kind of puts things out in the open, as opposed to kind of like playing the guessing game of what's going on. So I never want to put myself in the position to kind of like get in the way of that. So like if I hear it a couple days early, I'm like, oh, that's cool. And like I kind of see how it plays out, but I never would like say anything to kind of break the news or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I think his son is a lot younger, so he was probably just online bragging. I think he's a lot younger. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I heard he's pretty young.
Yeah. So
it's all fun for him. It's all fun for him.
Exactly.
If I had like an inside, like I would be like itching my skin to be like, man, like I'm just waiting for the news to break.
Yeah, I tell a couple of my boys they've been with me for a while, like since preschool or whatever. I'm like, hey, we're getting whoever. They're like, oh no way. I'm like, don't tell anyone. Like, I know. So like, it's a little bit of the routine now, but it's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
So I seen something about a tight relationship you have with Mookie. What is Mookie Betts like? I mean, he's been with the team for, this will be his 5th season. Talk about your relationship with Mookie.
He's my boy. That's my guy. He's actually been my favorite player since he came up in the league. So even when he was with Boston, that was like my guy. Like, I love Mookie. Never got to meet him, but I met him in 2018. It was the first time I met him. And then I met him at the All-Star game. So I went up to him, whatever. I'm like, hey, Mookie, nice to meet you. And he was cool right away. Signed a picture. We took a picture. I'll show it to you guys later, but he signed a picture of us, sent it over to me. And ever since then, like when he got traded over the Dodgers, that was like the best day ever for me. Like, oh, my favorite player's on the Dodgers now. So that relationship's kind of been growing for years. We might go golfing on Sunday, actually.
Wow.
But like a couple weeks ago, like I was up in LA. We were taking ground balls. You know, I was over with him at shortstop, and it's cool watching him go to work, because he's obviously, everyone knows he's going to play shortstop this year, or at least that's the plan as of now. So kind of watching him go about his business, learning how to play shortstop, because last year he was kind of like sprung into the role like at the end of spring training. So this year he's kind of like been going about his business all of the off season, getting ready for spring training, playing shortstop. So it was cool being able to take ground balls with him, hit with him and stuff like that. Just kind of seeing how one of the best in the world goes about their work, and kind of seeing how I can mimic that, and take little bits and pieces of information from his game and hopefully implement it into my game, and make me a better player. But overall, he's a great dude. I look up to him as like a big brother. Like he takes care of me, like he checks in on me, which is something I'm very fortunate for. And I just hope to learn a lot from him.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I mean, we hear a lot that Mookie Betts is very helpful. Like, the Dodgers get a player, he's helping them. I remember, I don't remember if it was 2020 or 2021, but Austin Barnes went on like a crazy run. Like he was hitting like crazy, and he's like, yeah, I mean, I got in the cage with Mookie Betts. He gave me some tips, and it showed in the game.
Yeah,
So,
Mookie cares, man. Obviously, he's a superstar, beyond a superstar, whatever you want to call it. But like my dad, he treats everyone the same. Like everyone's on a level playing field, no matter who you are. If like you're Austin Barnes or Freddie Freeman or even myself, someone who's not even in the big leagues, like he treats everyone the same, gives everyone the same amount of attention, the same respect, and I think that's something very admirable about him.
Right.
Yeah,
love that guy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mookie. I normally call him by his government name, but for respect reasons, I won't say it.
Shout out Marcus.
Shout out Marcus Lynn.
Marcus
Shout out Marcus Lynn.
That's my boy.
Yeah, that's one thing we kind of do. It's kind of funny. We just start calling people by their government names. Like
I love that.
Right before Freddie hit the grand slam, Josh is yelling in the frame, Frederick.
I love that.
So just kind of like to wrap it up here. Obviously growing up, Pops was in the big leagues. He was a manager, while you were growing up as well. Do you kind of have like a specific favorite memory? Like I know you were 4 years old when he swiped the bag, so you probably don't remember anything like from then.
I don't remember that, which is unfortunate, but I was there, but I don't really remember it.
Yeah.
Just a little kid. You don't know what's going on.
That what's it called? The one that just came on Netflix. About
the comeback.
The comeback. I did watch that, and that was dope. I like that a lot.
That was a great podcast, or what's it called? Documentary.
That was dope.
I mean, you might not remember.
What's up?
I think Ram watched that on the flight to New York.
It's a good one. It was a good one for sure. But we watched that. I watched that with my dad. When was it? I think it was after the NLCS. So same time as you guys, kind of. So we watched that like on an off day. Like, oh, this is cool. Then they went up 3-0. Then they lost, and we were both like, and he's like, no. So like, we both just watched the documentary. So like, this can't happen. We shouldn't have watched this right now, but it was a good time.
I mean, what is it like for you guys when you guys go to Boston now? Like, is he very highly like praised out there? Like, he doesn't have to buy a drink out there, stuff like that. Like, all that stuff.
He doesn't really buy drinks out there. I haven't been back to him. I haven't been back to Boston with him. When was it? I think it was like 2012 was the last time I was back there. So I haven't been back in a while. I played in Cape Cod going into my senior year of college, but never went back with him. Obviously, he's still a big story out there, which is cool. But Boston's cool. I love it a lot. Obviously, he loves Boston too. I do wish I could remember that stolen base, but I don't.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you might not remember it, but you got to have a cool story in mind or something.
Yeah, probably the coolest story that I can remember. I got two for you guys. Number one involves this dude right here, the captain, Derek Jeter. I think it was like 2013 or something like that. It was the year, I think it was 2012, the year before he retired. I think he did retire. The Yankees were playing at Dodger Stadium. So my dad I think he was the bench coach for the Padres there, or he was playing at Petco Park. Yeah. He was the bench coach for the Padres that year. And Jeter's always my favorite player. So I was kind of like nudging my dad all day to kind of introduce me to him. So, all right. He's like, all right, come on. So they were hitting BP or whatever. Jeter comes around, says what's up to me. I meet him. And he's, all right, I'll be back 1 second. So he takes his last round, his little inside out swings to right center, comes back around. He's, hey, man, nice to meet you. Thanks for saying what's up, and gave me his bat. So that's something that I think is pretty cool. This is I got it right above my TV here. He signed it for me and everything. So that's definitely one of the coolest stories that I have, and that's always going to be in my room for sure.
He's on the Fox post game show too, right?
He is, yeah. So it was cool when I'm not sure if he remembers doing that, but I did see him a couple times this postseason, so it was cool getting to reconnect with him a little bit. He's a great dude.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know about you, Cole. He was the reason I wore too, was Derek Jeter for sure.
Absolutely. He's the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Captain.
The captain. And then the other one I got for you guys, the last one, it was Family Day. And let me see if I can pull up this picture really fast. It was Family Day in 2008 when my dad was with the Giants. So we were all on the field, whatever. Obviously, Barry was on that team, the GOAT. And where was it? I got it. So it was Family Day. I was about 8 years, 7 years old, 7, 8 years old. And then I had a loose tooth or whatever. So I was messing with my tooth or whatever during the Family Day. And my dad's like, Cole, stop messing with your tooth or whatever. And then I was all right. I kept going like this. And then Barry walks up to me and goes, what are you doing? I'm like, my tooth's loose. And he goes, let me look at it. I'm like, no, you don't look at it. You're going to pull it. He goes, no, I promise I won't pull it. I'm like, all right, cool. So he looks at it, pulls it right out. And I'm like, what? So I got a picture of me and Barry back in the day of him pulling my tooth.
Oh,
no
wow.
way.
So he's got his big hand on my tiny head. But yeah, that's probably the coolest story I got.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, that's pretty cool being able to grow up in those moments. You get to meet a bunch of guys. Recently, Shohei had to announce a pregnancy with his wife. So, I mean, imagine being Shohei's kid. Like, what is he going to go through?
That is going to be crazy. I was talking because I went to Japan last month with my pops. He had a little business or whatever. So I was talking to Shohei about Japan or whatever. And then I was like, are you going to go back to Japan anytime soon? Like, besides the opening series? Yeah, I'm actually going to go back in January. I'm like, how does this dude even walk around Japan? Like, I couldn't even imagine how this dude is supposed to get around in public. So
his face is already everywhere.
Oh, it's everywhere. So I saw a couple ads. I took a picture of, he was like some juice company or whatever. I sent it to my dad, and he thought that was funny. But yeah, Shohei's everywhere. It was crazy.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
And his endorsement money is probably
through the roof.
Man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He'll take that little funky $2 million from us for that endorsement money.
Yeah.
Yeah, he don't. Who knows what he's doing with that $2 million? He's probably just giving it away at that point.
Giving it away. Buying a crib for his new baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not even just a crib, a whole new house.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I got nothing else here. I mean, I feel like we got some good information. I don't know about you, Josh.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's gonna wrap it up. Thank you, Cole, for coming on today.
Unless he has anything else to say, you got anything to say to the fans? Anything to look forward to?
Hey, keep watching these guys' videos. These guys are great. They're doing some special things, so keep rolling with them.
Let's go, bro. Appreciate it.
Yes,
Appreciate that.